All right, welcome back to the kitchen. You are here with Team Mad Rational, consisted of me, Twitch for Life, my partner Arthur Yves, and Lance, aka MrBroadcast, in the building. Look, today we're doing something a little bit different because life has become a lot harder for us as the hip hop game becomes a new level of hot whackness. Every week we do a cut of the week. But this week we have found it exceptionally hard to find a cut of the week. So what that means is I'm gonna need some of y'all people that's watching the podcast to go ahead and just throw a track at that submit@madrational.com email address so that we can have something productive to talk about, because things that we keep finding are
garbage.
Yes. I was trying to come up with a creative word for it, but it's mad trash. It's on a whole nother level of mad trash.
It all fits within the same three, I'm gonna call them subgenres. You've got the mumble rap, you've got the auto-tune rap, and then you've got the Percocet rap. The one that's at like, it's half of halftime. It just sounds like all parties involved are on Xanax. And that's everything that's coming out now.
What you're saying is it's a Percocet.
At this point, I'm just looking for somebody to call themselves Lil Dilaudid. That's just, what's your name? Lil Dilaudid.
DJ Diluted.
That's
MC Irrelevant.
So this isn't a new track by any means.
Okay.
But I think I've got the track of the week.
It's Freaky Friday, I'm in Chris Brown's body. I look at my soft dick with the light, it's my dream dick.
If I was little Dicky in my body, where would I be? I'm trying to find myself like an introspective monk.
I'm balling on the court, oh my god I can dunk. Snap a flick of my jump.
My dick is trending on Twitter, fuck. Now I'm at the club, I talk my way into getting in. I look up in the VIP, my goodness, there I am. I signal to him, let me in, but he won't let me in.
I don't know who that is.
Wait, who the fuck you think he is? Took a glass bottle, shatter it on the bouncer's head. Walk up to that motherfucker.
Wait, think it through for a sec. If you hurt me, then you only hurting yourself.
But wait, I love myself.
That was the key, now it's switching back. I woke up in
The sad and amazing part at the same time is like this is like the hottest track currently that I have heard.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
Yep.
you know, it's a dope concept. Like the whole Freaky Friday thing, that's a dope concept. Like you know what? Let's just pose a question, right? So, all right.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick somebody to wake up in their body tomorrow, who would it be?
I don't know. I can't just jump into a commitment like that.
I mean, you're not putting a ring on it. Just would who
would be an interesting person to live,
to be, like just to be for a day, like yo.
Elon Musk.
Okay, you went the intellectual route. I like it. An influential route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, that'd be a huge jump. Like your circle of influence would go from like here to like here. Like that'd be crazy.
Especially if I like did the work while I'm in that body to like connect me into that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're networking. I got it.
Freaky Friday networking.
Your Freaky Friday network. Okay. I dig it. Mr. Broadcast.
Philip Bailey.
Who is Philip Bailey?
Lead singer of Earth, Wind, and Fire. No questions asked. Done.
I feel like a part of my black card was taken away.
It was. I think we should redo that for the safety of you in this podcast right now. For you to say who Philip Bailey is.
So to be fair, he's one of like two lead singers. He's a younger guy, right? He's a singer now.
he has always been the singer. It's him and
The other guy.
yeah, but I mean,
There's the guy with the dreadlocks and there's the guy with the short afro.
I don't know either guy in Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, your card is revoked, sir.
I just know that it's Earth, Wind, and Fire. I know they're we're talking about elements. 3 of them, to be specific.
right. So
Philip Bailey's the one with the voice that he hits
The one with the
AKA
voice. That helps.
the voice. That's what they call him, the voice.
They call him the
I think
voice.
you're talking about Maurice White, who he and his brother Verdine they're the founders and leaders of the band.
Okay.
But Philip Bailey has always been the lead singer.
Does he?
Yes.
Because there's a guy who has the lower voice in September, and that's the other guy.
Yeah, that's Maurice.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so Maurice is the founder. He wrote most of the songs, and he is the other lead singer. But I mean, dude, he's been retired for 20 years.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna tell you, everything I know about Earth, Wind, and Fire is that you can't have a wedding without playing the song September. That's all I know.
Fair enough.
That's what I know.
I could do without September, but you hit me with some reasons.
I respect your hustle, but I'm pretty sure you probably was made to Earth, Wind, and Fire song. No.
You actually, it was Isley Brothers,
Close though. Close.
and it was Between the Sheets.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
I don't know. It might have been between. They might have got to that part of Between the Sheets, but the reasons they were there.
My mom's not a huge Earth, Wind, and Fire fan. She's a huge Isley Brothers fan. Huge. Yep. I'm gonna correct that later.
Just auto-tune the fuck out of that.
Whoa. Yep. Anyway, Philip Bailey.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. I love the way you call me Big Pop.
Just took the quiet storm away. He just took the
Same
quiet
song,
storm
though.
away.
It is.
Yeah.
There's another one too. Somebody else does the same song too.
I know, but that's the one that
That's the
everybody
big. That's the big one.
I
Yeah.
love the way you call me Big Pop.
Throw your hands in the air. So why Philip Bailey?
Well, for a few reasons, man. First of all, outside of being called the voice, right? There's just so many songs over the years that he and Earth, Wind, and Fire have written, not Earth, Wind, and Fire songs for people. You know, the collaborations that they've done with Chicago, another outstanding band, you know, and writers that are out there. But it's the known but also unknown influence that they've had on hip hop and R&B of songs that have been sampled that you don't even realize that have been sampled by them. Like one of the big ones I always stick out with that people don't pay attention to because it's the way the sample went. Shorty by Plies. They're using Fantasy in that sample. Yeah, it's there. If you listen to a lot of people,
I can't get the T-Pain one out of my head.
That's it. I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they use the sample from Reasons in that.
All right. Shit.
But there's so many other songs. Like if I just sit there and I go, now check this out. Like I've sat down with my cousins and stuff like that many times. Like, man, I didn't realize that was Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like In the Stone, you know, it's just Earth, Wind, and Fire, just my band. That's it.
They be in the crates.
Yeah,
They be in the crates. Word.
so there you go.
Respect.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
What about you?
That's a hard one. And here's why this is a hard one.
Like, yeah, this is a question, but you had no answer.
I do have an answer.
Okay.
And that's the sad part. Like, I do have an answer, but everybody's going to look at me so stupid when I say it.
Okay.
Right?
It's Jaden Smith.
It's not. It's not. It's not. And the only reason this is my answer is because it's hilarious and I would want to know what it was like to be like on the other end of this type of animosity, but I'm talking like 25 years ago. right? We had to go back in the past 25 years, and I would want to know what it was like to be Mike Tyson.
Okay. Tyson in 93?
Yes. To be that type of just powerhouse in an industry where nobody liked you, but nobody was man enough to tell you to your face. Right? Yeah. To wield that type of power is crazy. You know what I mean? Everybody's seen the old, Tyson walking through the press conference and somebody says something and he just lights them up, with some things that I don't even want to repeat on the podcast. But he lights them up and he's like, and then you have to think about it, like, man, that's some jailhouse stuff he just said. Like, where is your mind?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I would also want to learn about the people he had around him to then know how to notice those people in my life and know how to, like, stay away from them. People that's trying to dig in your pockets, people that's just trying to hang on your coattails for your influence. You know what I mean? People that don't want anything for you. And I would want to know what they look like, know what they smell like, know what they talk to you like, what the yes man looks like. You know what I'm saying? For the future and everything. I want it to be a learning experience on, what not to do. But I also think it would be hilarious in a whole nother light. You know what I mean?
Speed. Oh, that's a weird one.
It's the only one that was in my head, and I was like, I'm gonna change it. I'm not gonna say this one. That's what took me so long to answer. I'm like, I'm not gonna say that one. I'm not gonna say it, but it's like, no, I gotta be real. Like that's the one, Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Want to know what it's like to be in that ring, and then just throw a left hook, right hook on somebody, and watch it just fall
lit up.
Huh?
You'd still get lit up.
Yeah, but you're Mike Tyson, like. You know what I'm saying? You still wield the same power and just watch somebody crumble. Right. Think about it. He hit people and they crumble.
But all right, so just looking at the logistics of this, in that body, do you still have like a working knowledge of what he knows?
Well,
like, do you have all of the years of like practice in his body, or do you have the ability to hit those notes? As Mr. Bailey, can you hit that falsetto?
Well, I mean, that's got to be a part of the thing, Yeah.
Or like, do I know, like, say people's names? As Elon Musk, would I know like people's names? Or would you just be like switch, like real Freaky Friday, like even in this music video, like switch where you know nothing about?
But he could still sing, like you know what I'm saying. He still had the voice, the Chris Brown voice. You know what I mean?
It was heavily auto-tuned, but yes, absolutely.
I mean, but it's there.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So like in that light, you would. You know what I'm saying? If they can, if you can still have the voice and your boy can still rap in the same bar types, then for sure.
That's why I said you would get lit up as as Mike Tyson, because you just don't know.
But then you're Mike Tyson. If you get lit up, you light him up back. You know.
I mean, I've seen Mike Tyson go down though.
We all have. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, everybody has their moments.
Yeah. But we talking about '93 Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
He didn't go down.
It wasn't no. Yeah.
He didn't go
but
down.
he also had that going.
Yeah.
He had something going.
That's okay.
Not a lot,
but that's
he had
what
something
I'm talking
going.
about.
Yeah.
Is what was that like? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Oh,
right.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, that 93 Mike is different than the heavily medicated, not having the same trainer because his trainer had been passed by then. Having a whole new set of folks around him too.
Right.
I mean, he still has some old, but a whole new set of folks. Like, so training regimen is different, social life was different, physical being was different, mental state was different.
Right.
A lot went into, again, and that's no disrespect to Holyfield when I say that.
Right.
I'm just saying, but that's a different Mike Tyson than 93 Mike.
For sure.
He was older,
right.
And we talking about boxing, dude. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna get into the politics of boxing on that, but it's a difference.
Right.
It's a difference as a fighter,
But like I said, it's more about seeing the reactions of the people around you than being the reactor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back to the music though. The music on that track was dope. Like, to say that Lil Dicky is the type of artist that always has a joke track, all his music is so fly and so fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never heard a bad Lil Dicky song ever. I've never heard a bad Lil Dicky freestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But every other cat that came out at the same time as him is whack. Like extra whack.
See, and I just got done talking about auto-tune rap.
Right.
But
it's done so artistically here.
Yeah.
With a purpose.
Yeah, with a purpose. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so auto-tune is great when it's an effect to cause an effect, right? When it's just there because the person you have on the track can't sing, that's a whole nother story.
True.
You know what I mean? We all know Chris Brown can sing.
Yeah.
We heard it. But you put the auto-tune on there to cause that effect, it sounds great. It sounds amazing. I'm not mad at it. You know?
I think it sounds great when it's not the entire song.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's, I mean, we got into that a couple weeks ago. Was that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of auto-tune is fine.
Yeah.
But an entire track of auto-tune is just...
Well, that's the thing. That's what like T-Pain had to learn, you know, because T-Pain originally he come out, a rapper turned singer, and everything was auto-tune, and he kind of coined that auto-tune sound, even though he wasn't the first person to do it, to use it like that. Actually, was Cher, was the first person to use it like that. He had to have his I guess his grits pushed in by Charlemagne the God, telling them, you know what I mean, you need to learn your craft. You can't be out here talking about you a singer, but you can't actually sing. You know what I mean? He exposed them on the Breakfast Club, and then that made T-Pain a better artist because he went back and he got himself a voice tutor. He learned how to sing. He learned his craft. He realized this is what I love to do. And now you hear T-Pain sing, and he is phenomenal.
Yeah,
he is phenomenal a cappella. You know what I mean?
He did a better job at the national anthem than
America.
Fergalicious.
May her voice rest in peace.
I'm just saying he did a better job at singing.
Yeah, for sure.
No auto-tune.
Man. So look, you know what? I want to do this. I want to vote on our pool of tracks for the cut of the week. Like, was the pool of tracks we had to pick from that was trending on YouTube trash or trophy?
But that's not including Freaky Friday though, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, man, you know what? It's a collection. The whole collection.
I don't
See, that's like
understand any of that.
Because here's the point. Here's the issue with that then. Because I'm going to have to tell you then I need to re-up like LeBron did the Cavs. Like, you're not going to sit here and tell me I'm trash because my team sucked. Get rid of the rest of the roster. Bring in the new crew.
We win as a team, we lose as a team.
No, again, he got rid of the roster and he brought in a new crew.
No, I'm not talking about him specifically.
On the base level, these songs aren't a team. They do not.
Right.
They don't. But I'm talking about
KD
the pool of
jump
tracks,
ship to a better team.
But I'm talking about the pool of tracks we had to pick from.
I mean,
they don't. America doesn't know this, but we just sit down here and listen to tracks for 45 minutes and came up with nothing. And Artemis Prime over here and played that on the fly.
Yeah. I think it's trash, and here's why I say that.
Okay.
It's because the song itself, I mean, it's fun, but it's more the music video that gets me. I love the music video. I love the song and the music video. It's not something that I just sit there and bump to in the system in the car system. So that's why I say trash.
Word. MrBroadcast.
As a collection.
It's a collection.
The team of tracks we have are trash. But I'm telling you now, Lil Dicky show up in concert. He don't need Chris Brown because I'm coming up there and I'm carrying the dance moves for him.
So I'm gonna let you know this right now. I gave Jaden Smith Icon a trash vote on our first episode. Jaden Smith show up on stage. I'm singing every word of Icon with him on stage. Say what you want.
Just saying.
Say what you want. I'm gonna be up there moonwalking with him. Hey,
The boy moonwalking smooth though.
it's smooth.
He
It's
has
smooth.
He has a smooth
It's
moonwalk.
smooth.
That's all I'm saying.
It's smooth. Look. However, we played a whole bunch of other tracks that was mad whack. It was hot trash. And for that, it just gets a trash vote. For the pool of tracks we had to pick from. But this little Dicky track was dope. It was extra dope. Seeing as how we have the Freaky Friday theme going around, talking about switching roles and things like that, switching identities. Therein lies a discussion to be thought about and questions to be brought up about how we see ourselves and how it affects our place in society. How what our identity is affects where we place ourselves and who we place ourselves with, right? Your level of self-awareness to be complete, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like you see people all the time saying, I identify with this and I identify with that. And then once that happens, your whole set of beliefs shift. And it creates a box. When you're trying to get out of a box, you jump into a whole nother box with this, identity or persona that you put on. And we see it happen like time and time again with people in different places. Expand on that idea for me.
I think what you're saying is that when somebody identifies with a group or with an idea, that then becomes part of themselves, and they have to,
Yes.
they feel the need to actualize that identity within themselves, so they kind of become that which they've identified with. And I think it's positive in that we all need to have something, we all need to have groups that we are part of. But I feel like it's dangerous because then that groupthink comes in. That idea that, well, for example, like say somebody's registered as a Republican, so then Republican kind of becomes part of their identity.
Right.
But then is that it? Are you just gonna go along with everything that goes along within the idea of being a Republican,
Right.
or are there places where you can divorce yourself from that identity,
Right.
and still be a Republican? But
Right.
And
you never escape the label.
right.
No matter what you do and you say, I don't adhere to labels. Well, there's a label for that too. You never escape the label, but you can, like Art said, you can divorce the idea or ideals when it is a better decision.
Yeah.
When it's something that you say, you know what, I kind of do believe in that. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, it's like, just because as an engineer I use Pro Tools and I prefer Pro Tools because Pro Tools is an industry standard, doesn't mean that I can't see the benefits of using like Logic or Persona Studio One or Ableton or Machine. Cubase even. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I can't see the benefits, right? Because the end result you're trying to get to is a sonically correct project at the end. You know what I mean? And that idea runs real deep when people start having political identities and social identities. Just because you believe in that overall brand doesn't mean something that fits in another brand is off limits.
Right. Yeah.
That's a part of being well-rounded and well-balanced.
And I think there's another way that we can look at this and that kind of what we're talking about is the societal identity, the identity that somebody else puts on you.
Yeah.
Within being within an environment, and then there's also the self identity, the identities you've taken on as yourself, and those can be extremely different. I mean, you are who you are, but then, for example, you pass away, you get hit in a car crash, and then the news puts you up there, and they say a black man killed in a car crash.
Right.
Except for they're not saying Brandon Barré is killed in a car crash. They're saying a black man is killed in a car crash.
What he's saying in America is just because I'm black doesn't mean I have to like fried chicken, watermelon, and Kool-Aid. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
I get it.
And just because somebody else sees you as being black doesn't mean you have to be black, or doesn't mean you have to identify as black. You can identify as, I mean, now they've got, cats in Florida who would identify as Puerto Rican, even though they're
Cuban.
Well, trans white man from like middle America. That's
weird.
It's weird. But I mean,
it's just like the people that
power
put on
to them. Like I'm
the furries that's like identify as animals. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's cool. That is weird too. I mean, much respect to them and their freak, but
I'm not here to just drop a load on anybody. I'm just saying, you're strange. Just accept it.
Yeah.
Accept it and move on. We love you anyway.
33 years ago.
I'm not putting on a suit though. I'm sorry.
33 years ago, 5 kids walked into a Saturday detention. That stated everything about identity and social networking, class, and how you see each other and the perceptions and the misconceptions of who you are.
About the Breakfast Club.
I'm talking about the Breakfast Club. That set the tone for everything we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
33 years ago. Released in April 1998. 20 years ago on DVD for the first time. One of my favorite movies ever. Definitely my top 10. But it set the tone of exactly what we're talking about on how you're not only seen as yourself, seeing your own self-perception, but the perception and misconceptions of how others see you, be it through classism, sexism. There wasn't too much racism in that, but definitely sexism and their own inner societal views of who's on top and who's not based on being the jock, the nerd, the quirk, the Fendi guy, so it definitely had its ways of reaching a lot of people who went to see it.
Right.
So
it while you were talking about that, it hit me that there's a whole nother level to the identity thing where people, they grab an identity and they go with every part of it, and they believe that because I said this, in order to be true to my word, I have to also agree with this. I have to find a way to agree with this, because then if I don't agree with this, I'm not the identity I said I was. Right. But then there's a whole nother level to that where they take it to the extreme, and you have people who have hyper identities. Right. Like we see it all the time. You know what I mean? And I'm just throw it out there. Like people who are like hyper black, like they're super pro black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yo, pull the reins back a little bit. Like I'm black and I'm proud too. However, you can't just shit on everybody else because you're proud to be you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everybody else has a place in the world too. You know what I mean? There's a reason for all of us. And if you're going to be so proud of who you are to where you are doing the thing you're trying to eliminate, you're being what you're trying to eliminate, like you're being counterintuitive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you can't have a hyper identity either. It's truly all about balance.
Yeah. Didn't we watch a little video on that not too long ago?
I was gonna say there's so many conversations that I think we could take this, that we kind of all just all agreed that we weren't gonna go into. But yes, I mean,
For purposes of pulling in those hyper folks into conversations that if they had the ability to step back and have more intellectual conversations instead of just shooting off at the hip with their ideas and ideals and beliefs, then they might see just how far overboard they're going. They would, in terms of having a respectable debate, as one Charlie Murphy would have said, they're habitual line steppers when it comes to the disrespect of others when trying to ask for respect for themselves.
Correct.
So in turn, they're taking away any respect any intelligent person of any race would have for them. Because at that point, any real truthful scope of honesty and truth that they had in any point they wanted to make went out the door the minute they decided to talk.
Because people can't hear you because now you've on purpose, really, because I mean, let's be real, you've
offended them.
You offended them on purpose, right?
No,
if
no
you
one
knew your
wants
comments weren't going to make someone feel better, then you did it on purpose, and because you did that, you have now shut that person off from a positive energy flow. Now they're blocking you, and your only chance to get them back is to shut up.
Yeah. Well, no one wants to be on your team if you're not gonna, be a part of their team.
Yeah,
I think that's like so many of the issues that we have in this world, especially nowadays, is extremely black and white,
non-binary.
No, it's tribal. The tribal way of how society has gone more recently than ever before.
Society is built up of a slew of cliques on a level that I don't think we've ever seen before. You know what I mean? Like we've always had groups in the past, but now we have cliques, and if you're not part of that clique, then it's like you can't speak, you can't.
But now the idea of like the cliques, like they kind of form around issues that exist within society, and they kind of strengthen themselves, because of this like oppressive idea, oppressive person, oppressive regime, oppressive like construct that is out there. And I think they're at some point they're so busy fighting each other, just trying to speak, trying to get their brand of noise out there, that they're not saying, if we got together, we could nip this one in the bud right now.
I like how you said that, brand of noise. I'm gonna figure out a way to use that in like everyday life. It was an amazing phrase. Their brand of noise.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what you've got. You've got the the Black Lives Matter noise. You got the feminist, hyper feminist noise, and then you've got like the non hyper feminist noise, which is very different. And then you've got the the Christian community noise and the Muslim community noise. And it's not that those noises are separate, because they actually intermingle very nicely and evenly, and that's you can have the feminist and the black woman and the Muslim all in the same pot, but those conversations don't connect enough. We can put all those conversations together and see that there's very similar issues that run throughout all of them. And if we all got together and stopped, offending each other and started like listening to each other, there's I feel like that's where the solution lies.
It's it's funny you were talking about noise, and of course, being the engineer that I am, right? You start talking about noise, my mind goes into frequencies and sound patterns, and when you're talking about all these things, coming together, I think one idea that you have to realize is that we are one human race together, right? And you hear people say the phrase, one band, one sound.
One band, one sound. One band, one sound.
Right? We're one band with one sound. However, that sound has harmonics, right? And each one of these levels of noise are part of that harmonics, right? So if we're going to talk about a 60 hertz tone being the voice of the human race, then there's noise at 60 hertz, 120, 240, 480. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All the way up the frequency spectrum to make one sound.
One band, one sound. One band, one sound.
You know what I mean? So understand that you're part of that one sound. Mm-hmm. Now that you understand that you're part of that sound, be a positive part of that harmonic. Don't go flat on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. But I think part of that is, and as I seem to always do, combine both of you guys' thoughts. I'm gonna start with the sound, and we can agree when it comes to being one band, one sound, we have to understand how each instrument resonates to make sure we're on that same level with each other. Like I just can't run my saxophone at whatever tempo I want without knowing, following the beat of the drum.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the 2D idea going into 3D when we start talking about rhythm.
Exactly.
And so hitting the harmonics on the same rhythm.
Right.
I got you. Yeah.
But to do that, I have to truly understand the full spectrum of the song we're playing. Now, we all have our individualized parts of that song.
Correct.
Being it, Black Lives Matter, Me Too movement, whatever that song is, we all have our part of that song we're playing. But we have to understand each other's part in it to see where we fit in it. Mm-hmm. Because if we're taking, just going bandrific for a minute, we take a song, a la from, we're doing In the Stone, or Wind and Fire. Yeah, I went there, right?
Okay. Bring it back full circle. Yeah,
bring it back full circle. There's parts of that song that when Earth, Wind and Fire plays it, it's played in certain instruments that, say, when you get to a high school band, you might not have those instruments. But to understand it, you have to know the song to understand, oh, this is the part I'm playing. Mm-hmm. This is why it's played that way. Going far left for a minute, more recently, in a sense of time, a few years ago, my cousin was in the band. They had asked the band director for them to be able to play Project Chick, right? Now, Project Chick, just real quick, at the very beginning when the song comes in, there's a little bitty horn at the beginning, right? And it's like dun dun dun, right? When the background, right? So that's the tuba, right? Well,
I want to make sure I had the right song.
That's the tuba that's playing that level. Well, underneath, very low key, underneath it, there's a trumpet line. So where the tuba's going bum bum bum, the trumpet's going bum 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 bum. So when they're sitting there with the band director, they're going, "This is wrong. It's only supposed to hit 3 times." And it's like, listen to the song. And it's like the first time they've ever listened to the song, truly musically, from a listener's perspective, to say, this is why I need to play it this way. They realize there's so much more to what's there. And what I mean by that is getting back to your points of there's so much noise going on that fits in each other. I think where we are as a society, and even right now with the Me Too movement and understanding there's a lot of debates on, well, why all of a sudden now, when a white woman comes out and says this, we're all paying attention, or, black women. And I'm not getting into black or white when I talk about perspective of who's right and wrong in that part. But what I'm talking about is from a perspective of understanding, when we get to that point of understanding each other, mm-hmm. and saying and stepping up and saying, okay, I, as a white woman, can now understand what this black woman is going through. It makes it more powerful. it makes it more powerful for me to be able to stand with her, because I'm not just standing with her because she's a woman. I'm standing with her because I understand as a woman what she's going through, whether she's black, white, Asian, Syrian, whatever.
Or
right?
trying to understand, because I think that's
Right.
nobody's ever gonna like truly understand.
Okay, yeah, trying to
I think
understand.
listening and being open to receptive to the ideas that are like being put out there.
And going into even more depths in that with another movie reference for you, which funny, we're at about, I think we're just over the 30th year anniversary of this movie, but A Time to Kill. All right, Time to Kill. Matthew McConaughey, Samuel Jackson, they're in the courtroom. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. America, go watch A Time to Kill. Matthew McConaughey is playing the lawyer.
He's like Rain Man with the movies.
And I'm going to paraphrase this moment. So basically, Samuel Jackson is on trial for killing 2 white men who raped his daughter and left her for dead. Mm-hmm. Matthew McConaughey is defending him as the lawyer with an all-white jury. Mm-hmm. And he's basically, I'm paraphrasing the whole scene. He's basically telling this set of white jurors, I need you to close your eyes for a minute. I'm going to tell you a story. He goes through the story, and as he's getting to the end, he's talking about the story of the little girl being raped. And he's like, now imagine her laying there, beaten, bloody, raped, full of semen, blood on her, crying. No one can hear her. She's all alone. Now imagine she's white. And just the full-on thunderous silence in that part of that movie, because it became real to them. Now, they don't understand what it's like for a little black girl because they're all white. But they can imagine from the perspective of their white daughter what it is. And that made it real. And that's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's the same idea, is that when you see people that look like you being persecuted or being successful, it's more impactful, right? Mm-hmm. Which is why the phenomenon of Black Panther was so big.
Black Panther and this new Wrinkle in Time movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that Black Panther really
It set the tone.
It sets a tone. It sets a like an image for like little black children of all, I mean, boys and girls to look up to. And then Wrinkle of Time it's at least the movie. I never read the book, but the movie was made for black girls.
Right.
It is very much like she's a black girl growing up story and learning to accept who she is, and
it's phenomenal.
It was done really well. I liked it.
Yeah, it's it means something. You know what I mean? Like people always want to stray away from the topic, but it's true. It means something when you see somebody that looks like you doing something or being successful like you want to be. It makes you strive harder. It opens up the doors in your mind to say it's possible, right? And that's why, Barack Obama is such an influence. That's why Chadwick Boseman is such an influence. That's why, Denzel Washington is such an influence. And I'm saying, I'm talking about the males in the movie because they are people that look like me. Right, specifically, you know what I mean, and like those are people that I look up to, right, because I strive to have that type of influence in my life. I strive to bring a positive change to my community. I strive to be that person that little boys will look up to and say, "Yo, I really can be anything I want to be." Right, because I've seen these set of people be everything.
It's interesting as you're talking about that. I'm thinking of like, who do I look up to in those lights, and it's interesting in that it's not. It's people. I don't know if it's within my identities. Mm-hmm. It's not.
Sure.
They're not. The strong black men in movies or in the politics or in this and that. It is men like Elon Musk and Bill Gates and like they don't look like me, but I resonate. Their identities resonate with who I am.
But they look like your identity.
Yes, yeah, and it's such an interesting like way to think about that. Like if you really think, who do I look up to?
Yeah,
like it really gives you some insight as to who you identify as.
But we've talked about how you want to change the world and through ways that you want to change the world, and that makes sense because the things that we've talked about are along the routes that these men took to change the world.
They're extremely macro.
Yeah.
Extremely. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Big picture guys.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I talk about how I want to change the world,
it's more like community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting.
Yeah. Because it's not who I look like physically, it's who my identity looks like.
Right. I like that. Cool.
Chinchillas for killers. Carnappers and kid jackins. That's my identity looks like.
Where?
New Jack City, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just saying. We want to talk about, the tracks of the week were trash. OJ sitting around a fire barrel. New Jack City, baby. I identify with Rick James. Rick James, MC Hammer, and Bobby Brown.
Super freak.
These are all men that made very bad decisions in their career.
But I see the line. I see where that line.
It's all dance. The only positive thing they ever gave to the world was dance.
I see where that. I see that line.
You see what I did there?
One of them's dead. One of them's a crackhead, and the other one's a deacon.
I think two of them are dead. I think they're both dead. Who's not?
MC Hammer and Bobby Brown are still alive, sir.
Bobby Brown's still alive?
Yes.
Bobby Brown ain't going nowhere.
His daughter and his wife died.
Yeah.
I thought I just went away with Whitney.
Jeez.
I thought they were just like...
No, everybody didn't go at the same time, sir.
Bobby Brown is the Black Rolling Stones, baby.
Right.
Drugs keep them alive. With every little step, you just continue, don't you? I mean, I know it's your prerogative and all. But don't be rude.
So look, family, friends, loved ones, people of all races, colors, religions, creeds, sexual orientations, and national identities. We love you. It's everything we're saying is all love. And it's all about bringing all of us together, because that's what this life is about. I'll say it again like a broken record. Life is about two things: relationships and experiences. In order to build relationships, we have to talk about our differences. In order to have experiences, we need to be okay with the fact that we're different. You know what? Thank you guys for chopping it up with us this week in the kitchen. Once again, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And because the cut of the week had to be about a pool of trash nonsense, if you're an artist out there, or you know an artist that's looking to just be talked about in a positive manner with positive criticism, constructive criticism, I should say, because we have to talk about the negative stuff too, to make it real. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, go to the website below. Go ahead, send us a link in the email below to your bio and your music so we can talk about it on the kitchen. And at the end of these podcasts for the year, we got a treat for y'all coming. All right? So, without further ado, peace, love, and harmony. Ebony and Ivory. Why are you rubbing the mic?
This is an ASMR video.
I wonder if those guys know that's not how you create stereo sound.
No, I know. Well, see, they actually have the mics that do that.
No, they have the XY pair.
They've got two separate mics. It's two separate mics. It's like a thing in the.
They're crossed.
No, these come out the sides. I mean, they might be inside. I don't know what it looks like inside. But like when they're doing the ASMR videos, they have these like
they have stereo mics.
Yeah, and some of them put ears on them.
So like I had a friend I used to work with. We sold high end audio equipment. Right? Yeah, and I was telling him about like panning the sound from left to right speaker. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, you pan the sound, it's a knob. He's like, no, all you do is you just talk on this side of the mic. And I'm like, what?
So there are mics that do that, but he's an idiot.
I mean, I know there's stereo mics.
Yeah.
However, sir, that's not how that's done.
Not how it works.
It's me behind the board with a little knob, right, doing this.
Let's wrap it up.
All right. I'm going to try to fit this into my new lifestyle.
Moses.
I could go for some ribs.
You know what's funny? I was trying to fit Durex into a statement.
I know.
Yeah. What? Yeah. What? Come on. Yeah. What? Yeah. What? Come on. Yeah. What?
Maxing never phasing, sub conversations, urban dictionaries, all action, hesitation, could never, whatever the weather, stop and kill my stroke. When the mist come in the field, I pause to change my code. Denote my footnotes in the lyrics I speak. Write a Bible for my rival, hieroglyphics I tweak. And since I open the arena and it's pushing your heart, and you couldn't catch my style when I spoke from the start. Subconscious kind of thought that I manifest. Like all the things I did, there's no need to confess. Contest any rival on behalf of my own. You laugh at mama's baby boy, well now it's time to act grown. Never time to have alone, and it's time to be grown. I'm a prototype with bite, and it's soon to be shown. Now you asking who am I, cause I'm new to this game. It's what you bring, not what you brought, and that's the news of this fame. From the kitchen. From the kitchen. From the kitchen. From the kitchen.
That was dope.
That was dope.